Naomi Mercer, and I run the website The Business of Voiceover with workshops on it like the Workflow of VO and Momentum Month. And today I am going to talk about something that is seemingly old school, and that is mailings. Mailings. What can I tell you about mailings other than they work? There are not that many things that come to us in the mail anymore, except for like unbelievably generalized junk mail, which we all just throw straight into the trash. But if it's a personalized mailing, mailed directly to you, people open this stuff. So I've been doing mailings on different occasions. Every year before the holidays, I get started in around November and I do a big New Year's mailing. It's a holiday mailing that is sort of focused on the new year. And I do that because A, the new year is non-denominational, and B, because it is significant in business, because I feel like we can acknowledge what we've accomplished in the past year. We can look ahead and wish each other, you know, prosperity and great business in the year to come. And we can talk about starting anew and starting fresh in this new year. So I get started by first compiling my actual addresses. I go through my email account and I set aside a mailing list of every email that is somebody that I worked with, somebody that I almost worked with, and somebody that I really want to work with. If there's anyone that I corresponded with in the past year that falls under that category, they get an email from me. And then the email that I send them looks something like this. Hello, how are ya? Great, I hope. Listen, I know it's old-fashioned, but I'd like to send you something in the mail. I like to get creative with my holiday mailing and send them out to clients that excite me the most. If you wouldn't mind replying with your street or P.O. box address, then I can pop this puppy in the mail before Wednesday. Just a figure of speech. I'm not sending any puppies. Promise. Thanks and happy holidays. Naomi Mercer, the VO gal. Okay, so then they all write me back and let me know their address, and then I punch all that into an Excel spreadsheet of everyone's addresses. And then I use like an Avery sticker, and I will compile my highlights for the year. And like this one, for example, is my highlights for the year for 2016. And it says all the things that I did in the year that I, you know, felt like were notable of all of the work. And then I put it on the back of a postcard that I have that's kind of like my branding, you know. Shows you how old these are. It's from before skinny jeans were cool. Then I go on to tinyprints.com or minted.com. Minted really had some great designs this year. And I start to peruse all of the different designs that they have. I go to business, then business holiday cards, and just browse the collection. You're welcome to make your own cards if you think it's more personal, but the rest of this is a lot of work, so adding that to the pile might make you never want to do this again. Also, in the past I've always used tinyprints.com, but this year their designs didn't quite stand out to me, so I used minted.com this year. So make sure that you browse a bunch of websites before you choose the design that works for you. So this year in particular, I had a really good one. Isn't that so nice and classy? I just love how this one turned out. And I said, wishing you a happy and prosperous new year. Your VO gal, Naomi Mercer McKell. And then I turned it over and I wrote a cool poem, or I used a quote that was a poem. And then I always have a space down here, like a block, where I can write a personal note. These really do lead to jobs. I was in a job last week. I was in the studio and the producer was like, hey, by the way, I gotta tell you, those mailings work. It's not that I don't think you're great or that I try to forget you, but if that mailing wasn't on my desk when this job came up, I wouldn't have gone, oh, hey, Naomi, yeah. So just so you know, they work and you booked this job because of that mailing. Now, if that isn't proof of something being effective, I don't know what is. In 2014, I was planning a wedding, I was moving, I just had so much going on, I was working a lot. And so I was like, you know what, this year I'm gonna do an email holiday well wishes mailing. And it got lost in everybody's spam folders, and the following first quarter of the year was one of the slowest quarters I have ever had. And every year that I do the mailing, the first quarter of the following year is busy, like right now. And half of the people who write me say, hey, thank you so much for that lovely card. Listen, I got a gig for you. You're interested? So that I can connect the mailing to knowing that that's what got me this job. Some other good occasions for sending out a mailing, which I would say it's appropriate to do it between 1 and 3 times a year. Maybe if you moved, or if you set up a new studio and have some new equipment. I thought that was cute because I moved to Seattle, so I put a little skyline in there, and I said, same great work, but new great location. My voiceover studio is now operating out of, if you just signed with a new agent, and maybe you can find contact information for all the people in the area that do the casting. See, it says just a little attempt to show up on your radar. I sent this out to different casting directors in the region that I knew were getting my auditions from my new agent. So I said, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is, you may have heard my voice in some auditions coming through my agent, and I'm just hoping to connect my personality to that voice for you. And then I give them a few of my recent credits. I tell them some other details about me, and I tell them, anyway, I'm a pretty cool, down-to-earth gal who loves living back in the Northwest and can't wait to meet you soon, or something like that. And I got bookings right after I sent this out. So I just cannot stress enough how much these work. They're a way to connect with your clients and make yourself appear like more than just a button on a screen, but a person who has a personality and is involved in look at all of these things. And you just remind people that you're a person and that this is a personal relationship. There's lots of opportunities to do mailings. And once you start to gather a mailing list, that thing is valuable, man. It is very, very valuable. They're hard to get and they're hard to build for a reason, because they're very valuable. And this day and age, emailing lists certainly are valuable, but more and more of them are getting filtered and filed into social tabs and promotional tabs that people never even see. So once, twice, maybe 3 times a year, it is very appropriate and extremely effective to do a business mailing for your voiceover career.